Big news! Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
It's really cool. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to the Rosbiff Rugby Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things French rugby. Top 14, Pro de National, the brilliant towns, cities, bars, restaurants. Rob, I've missed out the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup, but I guess we're not there yet, so I'm not too bothered by that. Rob, you're got a new job.
Yeah,
How's
back
it going?
in gainful employment. It was. I'm not gonna lie, Richard. The most exciting and thing that happened to me yesterday, and the biggest achievement yesterday on day one of my first job, biggest achievement was getting 4 tickets to La Rochelle in January. That was
the most biggest achievement.
most I achieved on day one.
Proper like induction day type thing.
Yeah,
systems, a few handshakes.
Not really that. I was kind of just given a laptop and had a little poke around and sat in on some meetings. But yeah,
nice.
Felt weird. Felt knackered by the end of it, having done not a lot, having contributed not a lot to the overall success of the company that day. But even so, still tiring back in an office.
More knackering than a day of investigative pro de deux research.
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
enough. Very good.
But yeah,
excellent.
that was my Monday anyway.
Nice.
How was your weekend? How was you saw some rugby over the weekend in the flesh?
I did. Saw my first bit of the Prem this year. I was down in Bristol for my niece's 3rd birthday. Unicorn disco themed, very very big. We did also have my brother-in-law got a 10-foot blow-up unicorn outfit, which was pretty flair, it must be said. But yeah, got
Did
myself.
You wear that to the rugby?
No, I went on my own. I went solo to the rugby. There was quite a lot going on, so I managed to sort of barter my way out.
That's a fantastic piece of negotiation. That. Yeah,
it was all, I've been in this game quite a while now, so know how to negotiate these things. But yeah, down to Ashton Gate, Bristol, Exeter. Exeter sort of managed to somehow, by hook or by crook, conspire to lose a game they should have won, which is having been through the travails of last year, where they probably should have just lost every game by more, I guess is looking up. So yeah, it was really good fun. Great atmosphere. It's pretty raucous. Quite a few cards. And I think aren't you going to? It was my first time to Ashton Gate. I think you're planning to go for the Po game, right?
I'm hoping to go. Yeah.
Whether or not, I don't know what the attendance will be like then, but I think there were like 17,000 there. And that's with basically 2 stands closed. So I was speaking to the guy next to me who was saying, for like your kind of Baths and Gloucesters, they tend to sell those out. But yeah, impressive stadium. And there's also a curry goat stand in the ground, which is just spot on. So
how did the curry goat compare to the Agen beef and aligot combo?
Probably not quite as good. I think there's a little bit of environment there as well in terms of, I'd had a pub lunch about 3 hours before, so I probably didn't need the curry goat and a pint of Red Stripe. But, when in Rome and all that, it felt...
They serve Red Stripe in the stadium?
Just at that place.
That's amazing.
So they have like a kind of can. You might have seen this before with your sort of craft beer knowledge, but they have like the main bars which serve kind of everything, and then they have like a can only bar where they like lop the top off the can, so you drink it as if it's out of a glass, and that's all your. I think that was like Bristol Beer Factory and maybe a couple of other local brewers. And then the goat place does Red Stripe, which is nice touch. So good. Bristol Bears, shout out. Fantastic match day experience, as it were. Very, very good stuff.
Well, you mentioned how about this for a link? You mentioned one of your teams conspiring to lose when they should have won. The other one of your teams tried their best to conspire to lose a game they should have won. Cast were 26-0 up.
Yeah, after half an hour, having played 20 of those minutes with 14 men, Tom Staniforth, orange card.
Harsh, that, I thought.
Yeah, a little bit. But I
know orange cards are for like the ones you like, that's a bit harsh, but I still think that should have been a yellow.
Yeah, and then managed to...
26-0, despite one of the great own tries being called off. Have you seen that? That would have been... to be fair, as soon as the build-up play happened, I was like, he's in front of the kicker. But Lucio Sordoni, tie head prop, decides to throw a Harbour Bridge miss pass in his own 22, picked off by Nathaniel Eller, and it gets called back for a previous offside in front of the kicker. But that would have been... I saw that, I was like, wow.
Straight in,
straight in, yeah. So it could have been worse for Montauban, but they were 26... Yeah, sorry, carry on. 26-0 down after half an hour.
And I believe the final score was 32-30, was it? 32-29?
32-29, wasn't it? 32-28.
And that is also, ironically, playing against, Montauban playing with 14 men after Tyrone Vega got red carded, which was quite a big collision. Tyrone Vega...
They didn't show it on the highlights I saw.
Oh, did they not? No, it's basically like a shoulder to the face. I think it was a yellow card that I think then got upgraded. What doesn't help his cause is, I'm not sure, it might have been Ducat is like lying basically spark out on the floor, and Vega having nailed him is like stood over him, absolutely like ripping into him. And then when
maybe slagging off his haircut, maybe saying like, you need a better trim. You need a better trim. I can help you out.
Well, he was wearing a scrum cap, I think, so maybe it's just like I know under that scrum cap it's a shit lid. I think was what he said. But yeah, I suppose for Montauban, I mean, Cast, I think I read a bit about this afterwards, basically stopped playing, and a few people are not very happy with that. In some ways, pretty impressive, I'd say, given how Montauban have actually gone at home to get out to that sort of lead, but worrying nonetheless. I suppose for Montauban, it's another losing bonus point from nowhere, which is, it feels like that tide hopefully is going to turn and they're going to pick up a home win, right? So yeah, we'll see, but not the most encouraging first half. If the comeback was impressive nonetheless.
I thought the team selections were interesting for this one. It felt like they'd both gone as strong as possible. Felt like that Cast team was about as good as they could select, I thought. And Montauban went big. Like when you've got a back row of Fafita, Quercy and Vega, that's with, I think they picked their biggest side, and they still had Tukule and VC on the wings as well, and their first choice front row. I think the front rows is the easiest way, I think, to work out. Front rows and halfbacks are the easiest way to work out who has selected their best. I'd
agree with that. I suppose what it does do is, with that bonus point, puts them a little bit further clear, 3 points to none of Perpignan, who, in fairness, actually put in a pretty decent shift for an hour against Lyon, and I think will be much encouraged by that. Lyon pulled away, shock due to Wine and Golo was running him in from 50 yet again. The piss take index is starting. We're going to need a longer scale.
I've got a name for it, which I haven't actually revealed to you. It is I haven't quite worked it out, but it's the FTSE index. So it's the Fijian Try Scorers Extraordinaire.
Oh,
index.
nice.
You could even call it
Very good.
like a double F, Freakish Fijian Try Scorers Extraordinaire Index. But yeah, he's just about to the top because he scored 2 tries. The first one was a rarity, a non-wonder try from Juta Wainakolo. It's just a simple run.
Should have thrown it down.
Yeah. Or at least done like a flare, like put down, like one of those leaping,
the ash splash
diving
from back in the day.
The second one is gas though.
It's just ridiculous. Our man Sam Simmons is going very nicely. He was in Midi Olympics Team of the Week.
Nice.
He was also Le Grand Mêlée, which I believe is the rugby rama, like fantasy rugby. He was the highest scoring player in that, playing at 7 with I think it was Arnaud Bourta at 8, which is cool. And his beard is looking like unbelievable. It's like a proper red beard and scrum cap combination. There's like just a little bit of like rural Frenchman coming through, which seems to be giving him another gear, which I'm all for. Perpignan, I'd say, seemed got a bit of purchase at scrum time, I think, particularly in the first half, and are looking, I think, notwithstanding the final result, their performances have been pretty ropey. So to be away from home an hour, going toe to toe with a side who actually are playing pretty well, I think has to be encouraging for them.
So Brooksy mince up for on scrum. Although I have to say, it's not Birdo that scores it. It is Kassang, isn't it? The one there's some very simple stuff through the middle that they just let them through. It's the defense is not fantastic, the attack is not fantastic. Therefore, they are bottom of the league. It's neither has looked
complex equation.
yeah. It's not neither has looked particularly sharp so far, I'd have to say. In terms of just open play. Yeah,
there's a bit of drama up in Paris.
Yeah,
some real drama. Perhaps slightly less drama at Créteil. Albeit Racing got out to a fairly handy lead, and Montpellier, missed out on a bonus point. Hugo Royce missed a kind of tricky-ish kick off the last play, but they sort of nearly contrived.
He'd already missed a few kicks.
Oh, had he? I didn't actually watch it.
He missed the Nucci conversion.
Okay. But yeah, Racing squeaking home in front of 9 people in a sun drench. Actually, should have mentioned that about Montauban. We were talking about how Cast is apparently that was the Tarn derby, but the two places would appear to be in totally different climates based on our experiences of those grounds. So if you're a meteorologist and know anything about the nuances of weather in the Tarn and can confirm why it always seems to be raining in Cast and always sun shining in Montauban, do
further upstream, I think, as well. I would have thought it'd be the other way round.
Who knows?
I've assumed which direction the Tarn River flows. I've gambled there.
But then some proper drama in Paris, this was the early kickoff, right? At Stade Jean Bouin.
No, it wasn't. The kickoff, the early kickoff was Pau.
Oh, of course it was. Sorry, I feel like Stade Francais are quite often an early kickoff, which is why I've gone with that. But Louis Carbonell, the man reborn, the Rosbiffs rugby enigma, has he converted off the last kick of the game, but it's come from Stade Francais absolutely shredding a La Rochelle scrum, kind of on the heart or just inside halfway. I'll be honest, it's pretty much all I saw of this game, but there's some pretty jubilant scenes, understandably, at the end of it.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it from what I could tell in terms of the overall game. Penny Dakawanga had a very similar situation to Juta Wainakolo to keep himself high up on the FTSE index. I actually think his runaway try was better because it just shows sheer gas. What I didn't understand about this was Gail Galvan, who... Talking of the La Rochelle scrum, Gail Galvan got taken off on 17 minutes and only came back on when Contelier got yellow carded. So Contelier basically played the whole game having been on the bench. So I don't know, and then obviously got cooked in that final scrum. And so I don't quite know. I was excited to see Galvan play, but I don't think he was on the pitch much. And I wonder, I don't know whether he got hooked. I guess if he came back on for while Cantelia was in the bin, that suggests that they did get
He probably
hooked,
was hurt, yeah. I mean, I guess it does, 17 minutes is pretty early. It does happen, doesn't it? We see it a little bit more now, props being changed in the first half, but that does seem pretty extreme.
Well, according to the stats I'm looking at, La Rochelle had 5 out of 6 scrum success. So don't know. Don't know.
Not
they
sure.
did concede 13 penalties though, so who knows?
But Stade Francais, I'll mention it in the Petit-Fours later off the back of Paul Gustard channeling his inner Ronan O'Gara. We'll come back to that. You did see, I think, in the early kickoff, because it was live on Premier Sport, you did say you caught your boys Poe, who were pretty convincing in a game that, from what I can tell, was one for St John's Ambulance. Like, there was apparently some serious injury list off the back of this.
So I think I saw this game described in various parts as silly or messy. I think I've seen Poe described as silly or fun. It was so messy. It was not like, I was hoping I'd be able to come on and like ahead of the week being like, yeah, I know Poe, like, great record against Bayonne, like, we would have run away with it, and talk about flowing rugby and all that. And there was a little bit of that, but it was mainly just Bayonne being quite bad and getting a lot of injuries. So Guillaume Martok, starting centre, got injured within about 15 minutes. Tom Levesque, who has been really impressive in the France under-20s, came on for his debut. He was off within about 10 minutes of coming on. So at that point, you've got Tiberian at centre, Gareth Anscombe at fullback, and then Mangala was Bayonne's best player by a country mile. He scored a try in the first half that kept them in it, that looked illegal in terms of like how he was able to turn the ball over. It's like, surely he can't. It looks so easy. It's like there must have been some illegality there somewhere. He just turns it over, takes it out the ruck, and then there's no one in front of him, despite the fact he's 60 metres from the try line, and then just runs it in. Mangala, I think they then took Mangala off after about 55 minutes. So they finished the game. They finished the game with a centre combo of Gio Habel-Kufner and Lucas Martins, with Andy Bordelais playing number 8.
Amazing.
So like amazing. It's always fun to see a front rower out of position, but to see one at number 8 and a hooker at centre. Although Guidicelli then got sin bin, so I think got red carded, and I think Martin then did return to hooker because they obviously needed a hooker. But yeah, bizarre game, like really bad injuries. I saw someone say that maybe Bayonne should have why did they pick that selection? Like, why did they go into that with some first team players? If they're going to send a weakened side, why don't they do what Poe did the week before? And send a genuine second team. But yeah, it was a weird old game. The player who did stand out for Poe, and that is our man Joe Simmons, MBE, who was in great form. I
saw him wandering around on the pitch afterwards with a green beret and a Bern flag, looking fully looking like he'd grown up there all his life.
Yeah. He just really nice, like just putting people into space, drawing people onto him. His kicking was really good. He did miss 2 kicks, but both hit the post. 2 of Poe's tries came from breaks or get over the gain line from Fabien Braubery, who other than that was pretty average, but who cares if you've got 2 game breaking busts. And I really cannot. I don't know when this France squad gets announced because I'm really intrigued to see how it goes. But Leclerc was really good, and the guy who I think is in brilliant form and hasn't made the team of the week, which I thought he might do, Hugo Oredu, yet again. I think he might have made team of the month for September. He's such a good player, like just really bloody good line out time and like round the park. And I think he's still only 21, which for second row is freakishly young. So he'll be in the squad for sure. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see if they put Braubery in. I think Braubery should be in the squad. I think, especially if Fiku's going to be injured. Whether he gets any game time, because I think Deporter would be the natural choice at 12. I don't know, but Braubery should be in the squad ahead of a guy who is garnering some headlines.
Well, I was going to say.
I think he's garnering headlines because he looks damn good. Like he's fit. He's just a good. He looks like a
Calvin Gorge is a good.
He looks like a model. He's getting noise around him because he's a good looking bloke. He's younger than Browbury and he's playing for Toulouse. I think if Browbury was doing what he's doing at Toulouse, people would go mental.
Yeah, I would say that he was, albeit in a game. I've got a bit of a moan about this in a sec. He was ridiculous in that game against Bordeaux. Some of his distribution as well as the kind of pace and well, it's not even like out and out. It's not kind of like bulldozer power, but the ability to like get on a shoulder. He was very impressive. Toulouse, I think most people who listen to this probably would have seen, absolutely hammered Bordeaux 56-13 on Sunday night. Don't get me wrong, Toulouse at points, as is their want, were magnificent, and the pace they play at is like it's on fast forward at times.
There was one try that
was back and he was magnificent.
There was one try that was set up from a counter attack from Ramos where like all of the good backs get involved, and it is just like that is freakishly quick.
It's so clean and crisp. The movement, they were on there. They were brilliant. But I've got to say, I feel like actually this round, I'm not massively one for the grand statements, but I feel like this was a round, the top 14 kind of showcased like the best and worst of it in terms of some really tight games. You've got like Montauban come from nowhere to nearly beat Cast. There were a lot of teams that did pick the absolute strongest side. Like I think Cast, Montauban, Pau, Stade Francais, Lyon, I think all picked the absolute strongest 15 that they could have picked right now. I do think that, which was cool. I was really excited by that. Which is absolutely not the case for Bordeaux. And obviously there is a reality, and we know about the length of the season, and you do have to pick and choose your games. But I think I saw a stat. This was the most watched regular league season game for like 7 seasons. It was like 900,000 people watched it on Canal Plus, and I just felt this was for all we love the top 14 and wax lyrical. I think this was an example of where actually it can be a bit disappointing when Bordeaux send a side with kind of 5 first choice players, of which Penaud hasn't played at centre since he's been at Bordeaux. Rayassi has never played at centre. And there's some talent and some quality in there, but for what is effectively the biggest club game in the country, if not in Europe, in terms of domestic competitions. I get it. I'm not saying I don't understand it, but it doesn't mean it's not pretty disappointing. And it wasn't even like, we watched Cast get thrown aside, but at least they were competitive for 37 minutes in the first half. This was at no point was it a game. It was disappointing. Albeit there was some very sexy rugby from Toulouse. And there's circumstances in terms of their injuries as well. But I to the point that I didn't watch this game. I didn't watch this game live. I watched the highlights, but I would have watched it back. The only reason I was going to watch it back was actually because I wanted to see how Calvin Gorge got on and see how he see what he did really well, and see a bit more of him in detail. But I do think, however, the Midi Olympic Team of the Week, Paul Grau was not in it, which I think is harsh. I thought he looked really good. He was really good, yeah. But Bordeaux have got, there's to an extent, there are injuries. There are a lot of injuries. Well, Luku and Moefana. But they're like to not pick Bill Beret. I think I saw Hugh on Twitter say put up the Canal Plus visual of it, and it was like, what the fuck is that? Was the response to the Bordeaux team selection, which I think is when you add it's the centre combo of Rayassi and Penaud, which is it's quite rogue. What is going on? He actually had some quite good moments, Penaud at 13, which he obviously used to play there a bit. The last game we missed off, Clermont are going really well at home, aren't they? They brushed aside Toulon pretty handily. Toulon who went a bit weaker. Yeah. Should we have a very quick look ahead to the fixtures next week? Rob, I'm going to serve them up and you're going to tell me who's going to win. We'll keep it real simple. Okay, early kickoff. Bayonne, shorn of 25 players injured away at the Hameau. Bayonne take on Clermont at Stade Rondogé.
Buy on.
I'm agreeing with that. La Rochelle host Montauban.
La Rochelle.
Montpellier, Lyon.
Can I just say, Antoine Astor's playing really well. I know there's Sagon's getting a load of hype, but Astor is still really good. Sorry, just had to get that in there.
You will get Montpellier, Lyon.
Montpellier.
I mean, this is obviously, say I've just slagged them off, but maybe a reason for resting a few. Bordeaux go to Perpignan.
Perpignan.
You think the tide's about to turn?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think Bordeaux will still win that. Stade Francais.
Cass. Could be an interesting one, though.
I'm going to skip ahead to the Sunday and then come back to what I think is probably the most interesting fixture. So Sunday night, Toulon host Racing.
Toulon.
Agreed. And then, so I think by far the most interesting fixture, your boys
Top of the table clash, mate.
Top of the table clash.
Top of the table clash.
Host Toulouse.
This is the real big game of French rugby, mate. This Canal Plus figures will be 9 million.
Go on, Campo.
Or more like 9,000.
Campo hold out?
Yes, I think we can. I think the fact they rested so many against away at Toulon. Toulouse have been fantastic away from home.
Yeah.
And Pau have won, scored a bonus point in every home game so far. I know. Yeah. So I know that they Bayonne have never won at Stade de Hameau in the top 14 and have conceded 40 on each of the last 4 occasions or 5 occasions now. But so maybe don't read in too much into that. But I think Pau feel pretty positive at home. I think they'll be better next week as well. If
it's a bit of it feels like a little bit of a litmus test, given I think they lost both to Bordeaux and Toulouse at home last year, and maybe one of the other sides. And I guess that's probably been the thing that's or at least last season had kind of tucked Pau perhaps below like a Cast or someone like that. I'm minded to agree. I think Pau narrowly, some late Joe Simmons drama.
I've also gone all home wins there.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. There was no Pro Day there, Rob, but you've been busy. You've been chatting with the great and
it's coming back
and the good.
After a week off.
Do you want to let us in?
Yeah, so it's back this week. The live game on FR UK, for which you can watch live and free on YouTube on the FR UK Rugby channel. If you're in the UK and Ireland, you can also watch it, download it and watch the replay afterwards if you're not in the UK or Ireland. But you just can't watch it live for free. Is Vannes hosting Oyonnax, which should be a really good game, actually. 2 teams going pretty well. And we discussed that with Van New Boy, fresh off his move from Newcastle over the summer. He's ditched the northeast of England for the northwest of France. Loves an outpost miles away from everywhere, which we also talked about. But I had a little chat with Ben Stevenson. So here is that interview. Okay, well, we are delighted to be joined on the Rosbeef Rugby podcast by a new Rosbeef man playing on the wing for Vannes, Ben Stevenson. Welcome to the Rosbeef Rugby podcast. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good. Although you've had a bit of a break. You've had a week off. Is that? I guess that's relatively new for you in the world of rugby and just having a full break weekend.
Yeah, it's slightly different actually. After only 5 weeks is 5 or 6 weeks is quite nice. Normally, I know you probably play at least 15, 20 before you get a break in the Prem between the different cups and whatnot. But it was nice to get a little break.
What did you get up to? Did you go back to the UK or?
I went back to the UK. Saw my fiance, saw family. Went to see a few friends play for Leicester now. So watched one of their games.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty cool. Nice to be back for a bit.
And you might have touched on it a bit there, but you've been in for 5 or 6 weeks. You said you came back to see your fiance. How's living apart from the fiance? How's that going down?
It's new, to be fair. Obviously, I've been with her since I was 16. And
oh wow!
So we're getting married next August, so it probably wasn't the year before the wedding that she was expecting when we came to it that I signed for Van, which is a tricky conversation to get through probably. It wasn't just me deciding. She helped me decide what I was going to do as well when it came down to it. But it's it's slightly different now.
Yeah.
But she's been over twice now, so she loves it here. So
Okay, how settled in are you? How long? Because like obviously you will have been there for a bit pre-season, but like how are you renting? Are you like you've got Wi-Fi? I assume because we're having this, but like I know that French services can be a little bit slow, especially for non-French people.
Yeah, no, I was Airbnb-ing it for a couple months at the start because I don't know if you realise, but this is a really touristy area, so all these flats are like rented out throughout the summer for Airbnbs, and then let them on in September because obviously all the Parisians come and live here, come and holiday here, and so it's really busy. It's hard to get a house, and so I had to wait till September to get into my flat, which was it was nice to finally get in.
Oh wow! And then are you all set up in terms of like, is it boxes everywhere, or have you had time to get settled in?
It was fully furnished, which was a bit nicer, but there was obviously a lot moving in still. But in terms of the Wi-Fi, my landlord sorted that out, thankfully, because I think me trying to speak to some operators for that in French might be a bit of a tough one.
Yeah. And did the club help you settle in with anything like that, or are you just left to fend for yourself, or is that have you been assigned like a token English speaker that helps you out, or?
No, they are helpful with it. They organised the viewing for me and that sort of thing, and then I came and did it all, and it was the first week was a bit stressed because I think there was like a couple of bank holidays in there, so the people that kind of help you with this weren't there, and I was like, oh god, I can't speak French, I can't organise anything. They put me in a hotel for a week, and after that I was going to be getting an Airbnb somewhere. I wasn't sure what, and yeah, it was a bit stressful to start, but when they came back and helped, it was fine.
So how long have you been, when did you first kind of go out as a player, as it were? So once you like, when did you first make that move out in terms of, or how far ahead of the start of the season do you have to go out?
Oh, I missed the first 3 days of pre-season because I'd only signed on the Monday and pre-season was starting on the Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty late. So I managed to go out on the Saturday. So that was, I think, like start of July.
Okay.
So yeah, it was all very late, which, as I was talking about before, my fiance made it even more stressful. Me moving to France within 5 days before, and the week before wasn't really on the cards. So, and
you can't have had much time off either, presumably. Like, when did you finish in the Prem? End of May?
It was I got more than normal, to be honest. I probably got an extra week because of this. Because Newcastle were back in pre-season on the Monday as well, and I didn't start obviously till the next Monday.
Okay.
So squeezed in an extra week, which was nice.
How did the French pre-season compare to Newcastle pre-season?
It was obviously a lot less kind of straight line running. There's a lot less fitness for that, but more like conditioning games where he was offloading everything and just chucking the ball about. So a lot more of that. The first day I got there as well, I think they were a bit short of kit, so I had to do a fitness test in this kind of thick polo shirt.
That's a stitch up. That's a definite stitch up.
Yeah, and we were mid-30s, and it was honestly brutal. My score probably wasn't that great, but I got through it.
Oh.
So I was wearing polo shirts for the first week or so, which I found mental. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Was it because like there's some really nice kit in the Van Club shop? Was it like a nice, like kind of crafted polo shirt, or was it literally like school year like under nines polo shirt?
Like, we wear it for like our post-match attire now.
Okay.
And it was like one of those sorts of stuff, and that was the had spare. I think because I think we're having a couple of difficulties getting the kit at the start. We've got all of it now, obviously, but it was a bit awkward to start doing that in the heat.
So the fitness then is literally just from playing rugby. There's not like you haven't had to like run up hills and stuff like that.
No, we do a lot more of that. We did a lot more of that in Newcastle before, where it was like a lot more gruesome like that. But it's a lot more just like getting your hands on the ball and running about and getting your fitness through that, which. It's nice, to be fair. It's much rather do that than being sick after doing loads of hill sprints in Newcastle sort of thing.
It must be more fun, right? As a player.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun.
Do you think it like preps your skills like better?
The way they're doing it, like in terms of that, there's a lot more offloading, and you can kind of see that straight away in the way they do the setup to training, which is all encouraging that sort of thing, which is slightly different, yeah.
And you mentioned that it was kind of, well, you would have been going back into pre-season with Newcastle. How did the move to Van come about? What were the other options on the table? Like, what was the
So
turnaround like? Pretty quick, other than
it was
after you signed,
very quick. So Newcastle were obviously they've been taken over by Red Bulls, and they're in a position where they couldn't offer out contracts for probably from like December on. They couldn't offer any more contracts out, and so everyone was waiting for their contract. And Steve Diamond was like, "Oh, we're going to offer you one, but we can't give you one yet officially," and so that's why we still hadn't signed so late.
Because it was basically like in a takeover. Like,
it was in that period, and they had to wait for it to get over the line, and then Red Bull would give it the sign off essentially.
Okay.
And then that's why it was so late. And then Newcastle, I think, offered me the actual deal on the Wednesday, and then I think a couple of days before I had a Zoom call. I was on holiday at the time. I was in Greece. I had a Zoom call with Jean Noel, the head coach here, and then chatted to him there. So I was just waiting for them to come back to me, and they offered me on the Saturday. There's a bit of back and forth, and then by the Sunday I said yeah, because I think the deadline for Van to sign new players was on the Monday, so I had to make a decision there and then.
Yeah.
So it was all really quick.
And how did you kind of get in touch with Van? Was that just your agent?
My agent, he lives over here. Well, I got a guy an agent in France, an agent in England, and the guy in France obviously knows these guys. I think they had a winger who left last year.
Ryasi.
He's gone to Bordeaux, so I think that left the slot open, and that was it really.
Oh, nice. So it wasn't something you were kind of actively looking for, as it were. It was kind of you're waiting for the Newcastle deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. Yeah. Didn't realise it was a possibility until right at the end.
Oh wow! So quite a quirk of timing.
Yeah.
And because you've been at Newcastle your whole life, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I was in the academy from 14-ish. And then signed at 18 and I'm 27 now, so I was there quite a while.
And what don't want to pry too much, but like what was the thinking behind leaving Newcastle and moving to? Was it kind of Van is just an opportunity I can't turn down, or was it I want to change? Or
it was a bit of both, because in terms of Van, I spoke to a friend of mine at Newcastle. It's Sam Arnold. He used to be at Brive, and he was really complimentary of Van. He said it was unreal sport, and he knew some people who played there and said it was great. He was very complimentary about it. And then, so I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And I saw they were coming down from top 14 and trying to get back up after speaking to Jean Noel, and I was quite keen to be in a team like that. I was trying to go back up and get there. And in terms of leaving Newcastle, I just fancied a bit of a change, really. Obviously, I'd been there my whole career. Everything's the same forever, and I just fancied it's an opportunity now. I don't know if I'll do it any other time. There's not many chances you get to go and live in a different country and experience that, so I thought that would be pretty cool to come out here.
And how much did you know about Van as a club, as a place, as the Brittany region? How much do you know about that before you spoke to John?
Apart from what Sam Arnold had told me, pretty minimal, which was I had gave it a quick Google and was like, oh, it looks all right. And I spoke to a few people, but it was good. But yeah, generally not much. Didn't know much about it. It was lucky how it's turned out, because it's actually a great place. I don't know if you've visited, but it's such a nice location. Yeah,
we were wearing my one bit of stash that I picked up, but we went back in March. We were lucky enough to get tickets. Went to watch their draw with Perpignan, which was at the time quite a key game. But yeah, so it's like one thing. Well, with Van, like there's quite a lot of. How did you know any of the kind of English speakers there before? Because there's quite a few guys that have certainly played Prem rugby or.
Yeah, I've played against a couple. So obviously Mako is here. Nick Shonet's just signed. I've played against them. I didn't know them personally, but I knew people who knew them, and they put me in touch. So before I came out, I was chatting to them, which is good. But I didn't know anyone really, no.
And with the Breton identity, I find we found that English is actually it's one of the better regions for people speaking English in France. Have you found how's your French coming along?
So there is a lot of English spoken here, and then which helps to start. It also makes it a bit harder when you're trying to improve your own French, and they instantly just go to English, and you're like, thanks, but I need to start progressing and not just falling back into English, because you could do it if you could just not really learn French and just keep going on with English, but I've made an effort to try and learn it. I'm having 3 lessons a week at the moment.
Oh wow!
The club are organising a couple, and then I try my best.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the clubs, the guys have like French lessons, in-house tutors and whatever. Like training and like team talks, they run in French or English?
French. Yeah, that's the thing where it's a lot harder because it's very quick and there's no like repetition with it. You can't ask and say, "Oh, what did you say there?" So it goes over, and at the end they say, like, "C'est bon, that's good," and you go, "Oui, c'est bon," as if you've understood all of it, and you just like not a clue what's just happened there, but I'll crack on.
How much? I guess just on that, like, how do you get like briefed on? Because like when Van came up to the top 14, it was this big thing for the first club from Brittany to be in the top 14, and like a big thing was made of like the bagpipes and the anthem and the connection to kind of Celtic nations and stuff like that. How much of that have you been told about, like, as a player? Do you guys get like cultural lessons, or like do kind of the local guys like hype it up, or do you just kind of feel it from the fans, or do you get what do you get from like the unique cultural stuff, I guess?
It's been a bit of both in terms of the club and the fans telling me about it. So we had a lesson about the stadium, about where that's come from and that sort of thing, and then I was speaking to some fans after one of the home games, and they were telling me more about the location and how he wasn't French. There was a local guy. He said, "Oh, I'm not French, I'm Breton." And then it's how he supports Wales. I think he supports Wales over France now because of that, the link to them, which I found a bit crazy. Obviously, it's very different. They're quite touchy to say they're not French. Some of them at least.
Yeah. So it's ironically, it's which is kind of where it's connected to. It's quite like Cornish people, or I guess Welsh people saying they're not, like being adamant.
Yeah, similar vibe. Yeah.
Have you got any Celtic roots? I know you're from up north, but you're not Scottish or anything like that.
No,
there's no
thoroughbred English.
Yeah, can't pull on that.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't really work, unfortunately.
What was like was there any like mad facts that you kind of, or something that you found out other than seeing that they don't see it?
That was the main thing, just how adamant he was. He kind of got offended about the French side of it, which I was a bit more astounded by. I thought they'd be a bit more, well, as they are French, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like that was the one thing that we found when we visited Vannes, and we flew into Rennes as well, and like just how we hadn't quite realised how similar to like the Basque Country or like the Catalan region like it was in terms of seeing themselves as a separate people and a separate nation. I think that we were kind of, as visitors, like we were quite taken aback by that.
The bagpipes are really cool when they come in. So we walk out and they kind of lead us out into the stadium as we're walking. For a match, we walk through the tunnel, and they're playing ahead of you, and then you walk out and there's all that playing, and it's throughout the match as well. It's pretty cool to have that. It's something very different, to what I've experienced before.
I like it's so central, right? Like the ground. How does like
it's so cool, yeah. It's right in next to the port, and then the port's like just like the centre of the city, really. So you just go straight from the bars into the stadium and straight again after. My parents came out for the first home game, and they managed to make friends with all the fans in the bars. And like there was so many of them. They had to do a group chat now. That's what happened in this Van fan group chat, which is pretty cool for them. Made best mates with all of them, which was nice. But that's just how close it is. It just kind of you're outside the stadium. You're in the city. You're like just there. And you walk in, and it's
And does that affect like you guys, like from a pre-game, post-game? Does that is it different? Is it harder? Is it easier?
It's different. Post-game, I wouldn't say it's any different pre-game because we kind of go to the training ground and get a bus in. So it's as if it was like far away. But post-game, I'm actually living in the city centre now as well. So I walk back home after, but I end up having to carry all my kit out, and you get a bit mobbed after the game when they see you in your kit.
Yeah, nice,
because they absolutely love it. They absolutely I can't stress how much they absolutely love the rugby here, which is nice.
I guess like one thing that kind of Rich was when I said, "Oh, do you want to ask Ben about anything?" He's like, one of his questions was, does he just have an obsession with clubs that are miles away from everywhere else in the league? Because you are kind of it's a lot like Vannes a long way from quite a lot of other places in France. Let alone the rest of rugby.
how big France was until you do a bus trip.
Yeah.
Which
what's the best bus trip you've had so far?
We've done one proper bus trip. That was the Mont de Marsan game. We got back at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And that was just crazy. I couldn't get over the concept that we'd be getting back at that time. Like, some boys just went about the day as normal after, and I just found that incredible. It's so different.
How long was that? Like 10 hours?
No, because the thing is, we kick off at 9 because
it was 9 o'clock.
Van's game draw was at 9. So we set off at midnight. So by the time we get back, it's so late. That was the thing I found astounding, was that just how late you get back. And
yeah,
I think it kind of shows how it adds to the kind of difficulty of the away games, is that the recovery period after those sort of trips is just mental. Like, it's so much harder.
Well, that was kind of going to be a slightly more serious question of that. Like, how do you find the whole kind of home fans, home stadium, like, strength compared to Kingston Park? Like, because it was like for ages, or it kind of still is, like the whole Kingston Park on a Friday night in winter, like that is the scene as like the real tough away trip for fans and players. So like, how does Van being like this kind of northern outpost and having this home support, how does that compare to like how Newcastle built the identity of like being a tough place to go? Is it leaned into in the same way, or is it different?
I didn't think of it like that. I suppose it is. Yeah, obviously, are both miles away from the rest of the clubs comparatively. I feel like Newcastle's a bit more gritty with it, whereas now in Pro D2 Vannes, one of the teams probably towards the top of the table, it seems a bit slightly different. Whereas Newcastle would kind of like make each game a fight and just try to basically beat people up. And it seems slightly different. It's interesting to compare it like that. I guess it is pretty similar in terms of this outpost essentially in the country.
I guess you mentioned it there, and getting onto it properly. Van have obviously come down from the top 14. They are many people's, we've kind of said recently, or a lot this season, like they seem like the team to beat. I personally thought there might be a little bit of an adjustment period for Van, like kind of back, because we've seen it the last couple of years, teams coming down from top 14 have actually had quite slow starts in Pro D2, but like generally you guys have seem like the team to beat. You guys have had probably the most impressive results. What was said in like pre-season in terms of like the approach to being back in Pro D2? Obviously you weren't there last year, but what was the kind of messaging around like how you're approaching the season?
In terms of the specifics from the coaches in the meetings, I'd probably have to say I didn't know when that would come in, because it's all in French, which is quite funny, but it's more from speaking to the boys. I think they feel in a stronger place this year than they did when they got promoted.
Feels like a stronger squad. It does feel like a stronger squad than you.
I think in terms of like the depth that we have more now is a bit better for us this year. And I think they're just desperate to get back up again, really. I spoke to them about the celebrations when they got promoted, and it was just like these pictures, like these endless fans. Did you go to the ramparts when you went to Van?
Yeah.
It was all based around that, and there was just so many fans there. It looked absolutely incredible, and just basically saying how good it was when they got promoted.
Yeah.
Obviously the beers after it'll be good as well, but yeah, just that event will be.
That's why the guys want to win the league. It's just that, not like personal pride or just the party afterwards.
Yeah.
And like I've got a bit of a bugbear with Van at the moment, and you might actually be quite well placed to talk about it. Like, what is said about the game plan with, like, obviously if you've got this kind of top quality squad, what's the kind of game plan? Because like going up last year, it was very pragmatic and kick based and territory based. And actually I think Van had we're in the top 3 for like territory or something like that, or like they had some of the quite good stats. It doesn't seem to have changed much this year. So is it kind of still like we play pragmatic, this is how we play, or is it we should dominate players, we've got these amazing talent outside us?
The only time I've really emphasised that game plan, I would say, be against Brive. We went into it and it was more like that's going to be our game plan. We're going to play away from home against one of the top sides. We're going to kick it. We're going to chase. We're going to defend more. But to be honest, after that hasn't really been the message. I know I don't think it also didn't help that the first 2 games were down to 14 men. I think. I think we played about 10 minutes of 15 men for the first 2 games, which was crazy. But that hasn't really been the intention. We just haven't really managed to click as much attacking wise, especially away from home. It was the Mont de Marsan game was awful. Aurillac game wasn't good, and then Dax wasn't good. Obviously, we managed to get 2 wins there without playing well at all. So I still think, in terms of the attack, we've got a lot more. We've got a lot more to come. Which, especially for me as a winger, it'll be nice, because I've just been really busy chasing kicks so far. Which...
Well, that was kind of like my feeling. Like that first game against Brive was, so we can see now. They started just before for the playoffs, like at the back end of last season, and they've had like 1 game per week, and it's Tim Cocker from Meg Jason and Joe Worsley that do it, and it's all on YouTube, so we can see 1 game, and like they've made a big thing of like the Saturday night game, the Brive Van game, and like thought like we were really impressed with that, and it was like a kicking based game, but like it's kind of like, oh, Ben Stevenson on debut kicked his chase, chased his kicks bloody well. Like the bits he was allowed to do, like it looked good, but like 90% of his game was chasing kicks. It's kind of like, but then you won try of the month for Van at least, didn't you? And you've still had a chance to kind of do your own thing. Is there so Van fans and Predator fans can have a bit of hope that there will be more attacking rugby from Van?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I've been working on in training as well, just trying to get that shape going right. And because I mean, it's not a great spectator sport if you just end up kicking it all. No,
I think
it's not fun to play. No one wants that. And the weather's actually been perfect for it as well, which is the shame thing. This is the bad thing. Yeah. We could have played some great rugby, but it just hasn't really happened yet. Yeah,
because you guys have got some brilliant talent. Has there been anyone that's like really impressed you, like in the obviously like not knowing many of the players other than the guys that have pplayed in the Prem or URC, like? Was there anyone that's locally that's kind of been like, this guy's amazing?
Max Lafarge at 10, he's good. He's impressive. He can read the game well. He's been impressive. Michael Veru at 9, he's been good. Class. He loves a pick and go though. He needs to stop that a bit, I think. We get a chance for the backs to try to play, and he keeps this little pick and go each time. I mean, he scores pretty much every time, which obviously you can see, can't say anything after. But yeah, he loves pick and go. Those 9 and 10 combo are good. Yeah,
I mean, they were brilliant in the top 14 last year, and like Francis Siley was unreal last year as well. I know he's obviously missed a few games with his band, but those 3 were just, it was class last year, really, even top 14. The game that we will be coming up this week is your home game against Oyonnax. So what's been kind of, how does it work kind of coming back from the break, and how does the rest of your week look, and what's the team saying about Oyonnax? Because Oyonnax have played all right, but not quite got the wins. They're kind of doing the opposite of you guys, I guess.
Yeah. They. I think they're up there for the stats for kicking as well, which hopefully isn't going to be a sign of what's to come in this game. I think we're top and they're second for kicking, which isn't a good sign. But I'm going to say this now, but we're going to try to attack and just be kicking it the whole time. But hopefully the ball gets out there a bit more. In terms of the match this week, I think pretty much what you were saying. They've been playing well, haven't got the results. They seem to chuck the ball about a bit more as well. So I have to watch out for that in terms of the defending aspect of it. But I think the boys just quite keen to get back in. Obviously, they're quite disappointed with the Dax game, the way that went. So I think that hopefully we can get a big win on Thursday this week and enjoy it a bit more, because it's absolutely unreal that they're playing at home.
Because you guys have had only 2 home games out of 6, so you think it's only you and Carcassonne that have had 2 home games. So pretty must be nice to be back at the Rabine. Yeah, it's nice. It's the pitch is class, and the fans are just immense with it as well. Like, it's such a good atmosphere. Is there anything like with the fans that is like really unique to, obviously, like the noise and the energy and the music? Is there anything that you've like picked up that you're like, that's just mad? Like, I don't know, because it's quite loads of people say like it's the fans are unreal. Is it just volume, or is it
volume? I'd say volume. Them turning up for the away games is just incredible. You see the same faces each time, and they travel all over the spot. And I just think fair play to you. That's a good effort to get there. And another thing to do, they have these big print out faces of different players, which I find is just so good. I'm quite excited for hopefully a point comes where I have a picture of me up there, but it's quite funny. It's quite funny. Like, they're massive. They're absolutely huge, and they're
like thigh high. Like we've got a photo of us with a big Jean-Noel Spitzer's face somewhere. I
feel sorry for the guys behind them trying to watch the game, but they've got that up the whole game.
Yeah. And talking of away games, Aurillac is like the Stoke City. It's like that's the maybe that's the Newcastle.
Yeah.
How was your experience going away to Aurillac on a Friday night?
The game was awful. So the pitch, obviously, the massive slant on the pitch.
Yeah, this is news to us. We only found this out talking to someone the other week that it's actually
really?
an aggressive slope, isn't it?
It's really aggressive. But at one point, I ended up on the other wing, which is at the bottom of the slope, and had to reset all the way up to the top of the slope. And I was absolutely shattered getting back up there. It was in the second half. I was running up the hill, and I was thinking, "What's going on here? I'm absolutely knackered." And its pitch was really heavy as well, which didn't help.
So it's true. The whole thing.
Yeah, that was a tough place to go.
Tough place to go.
But post match, incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Post match food. The meal after was lovely. And then after, so we have this meal, and then they could bring out a cheese ball and a red wine, and then so they're known for this. This location is known for its cheese.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That after. And then also actually one of the ex-players at Aurillac, he set up his own pie company.
Oh wow!
So after the game, he was at the game. He's selling his pies, and so he's from New Zealand. So Francis Sailey knows him, and so we put this big order in. So he has these frozen pies ready for us after the match for us to take back home after the game. Honestly, they were incredible. It was such a good idea. I absolutely loved
unreal.
It's honestly so cool. It was just like, there's in this big package. Here you go, and you go, right, thanks. Get on the plane, and then you put them back in your freezer when you get back.
That's class.
They're ready.
I guess on slightly similar lines, did you have any sort of initiation or anything at Van?
Yeah, it was the first 3 weeks. It was fancy dress every week, every Friday, which was it got a bit much by the end. But it was fancy dress every Friday, doing different socials, and it ended with the last one where it was weird. I've never had fans involved in initiation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. So this was like the team part of it was weird when I was with the fans. It was various challenges. It was like in teams, like a time trial with different things, like pulling a tractor up a hill. I can't remember the rest of it was. It was loads of weird little games with drinking, and after that we separate off from the fans and we go into this little. It's on a big farm, I think one of the presidents owns a farm, and it was in his farm. It was a little kind of wooden shed, quite a big shed, little storage place, and we separated off that, just the players, and then there was like a big court session there with various different drinking stuff, and it was actually really well organised. There was like 3 or 4 people dressed up as judges. There was a few barristers defending people, but fully costumed. Are
you allowed to tell us what you were dressed as? Is that?
I think I was in bikinis at this point.
Nice.
Okay. there was a few different ones, but yeah. It was different. Yeah, I hadn't had a fans involved initiation before, but it was funny with her.
Is it beer? Is it wine? Is it local digestifs? Is it
all of it? Fish eyes.
Okay.
Like, do you know any little challenge? Like a cinnamon challenge part to it. There was any little weird thing you could think of that they had. So yeah, it was different. It was different to what I'd done before.
That's proper. That's like uni. That's like uni fresher initiation type stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay, so we're nearly at time. Is there anything that, like, any places you found then in Van where you kind of always ask people for recommendations? Anywhere that you've like, where's your new favourite spot? Whether it's like coffee or food or drink.
I'm quite into my pastries as well, which is
nice.
Been good coming in. There's a little pastry shop called Pan Grill. Which Alex Ureta, he recommended it to me, and that's a good spot. And there's a lot of the boys go to this restaurant called Crapule. Probably not pronouncing it right, but that's right in the centre, and that's class as well. So those are 2 spots I've been going to recently.
You're in a great spot for pastry. The that local
it's so good.
Is it Queen Man or whatever they call it?
Yeah.
Those things are banging.
Sugary butter thing. It's not just pure calories.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to finish it there. Ben, thanks very much for your time. Thank you for joining the Rugby's Rugby podcast. Good luck on Thursday. Hopefully lots of English or UK and Irish viewers will be able to catch you ball in hand, tearing up against Oyonnax. But in the meantime, thank you very much.
Great, yeah, thank you very much. It's been good chatting to you.
Cheers, Ben.
Cool. Rob, Lovely interview.
Thank you.
Nice bloke.
Really nice bloke.
Likes a remote location.
Likes a remote location. I was very encouraged to hear that he was a man that loves pastries. It's quite nice to know that there is an elite athlete. There's an elite athlete who can probably run 100 meters in like 11 seconds, who also loves a buttery, sugary, salty Queen Amman from Brittany. That was really, really heartening to hear. But it sounds like he's loving Vannes. It is a great place. We knew that.
Incredible place.
And yeah, really cool to hear more about Vannes generally. Encouraging to hear that they might play some more attacking rugby eventually at home.
I think you need to get this, mate. They've hammered sides at home. They're about to crack open, and it's going to be. It does
sound like it was slightly kind of I've had a complete brain fart. Slightly driven by kind of the away games. The away games necessitated a slightly more pragmatic style of play. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that comes up and to see if they do throw it about a bit more. He seemed pretty positive about the talent in the squad, which we know is obviously there. So, and that is the Thursday night game. Will they win it?
Yes, I think handily.
Yeah. You think handily?
Yeah, I do.
You don't think Oyonnax are going to lose in the last 30 seconds, such as they want,
like they always do. No, not this one. I think they might already have an eye on a slightly more favourable block to come, and a Thursday night 8-hour trip to Brittany might be taking a backseat.
Yeah. Okay. But looking forward to watching it all the same for free.
100%.
For the first game on Friday, team that could do with a win, Soya Angoulême at home to Biarritz. I'm feeling positive about that.
Yeah, same. I think our boys are gonna pull that out.
Yeah.
Angoulême.
Béziers at home to Valence Romans.
Béziers have actually been quite good at home, haven't they?
Yeah. There could be some points in that.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of points in that. Provence hosting Nevers. Provence. Yeah, Provence won last time, didn't they? Like they won last time out at Grenoble. Be interesting to see how much of a reset like we see some of like Caleb Muntz is in for Provence now. So like some of these players are now going to be available that haven't been available. So like Oyonnax had a few out and about in like Rugby Championship and Pacific Nations Cup as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Provence should have too much at home to Nevers.
I think so.
Aurillac v Dax should be the lack. Yeah.
Going to continue to bat the lack on that one.
Here's an interesting one for you. Stade Montois, Mont-de-Marsan hosting Grenoble. Grenoble, who have a new attack coach.
Yes, saw that.
We didn't talk about that last week.
The Nadal affair.
Yeah.
And it
was very much like, oh, look, they've signed the bloke that was heavily rumoured to be coming in.
Yeah.
I think there's been some
got quite an impressive. I can't remember the guy's name.
There.
I probably should have scribbled this down in my notes, but it's got quite an impressive CV. The chap who's gone across, maybe one for next week, depending on that Grenoble performance. I reckon I'm going to say Mont-de-Marsan to hold out as they did against Vannes, against one of the big boys. I'm going to say they're going to win that.
I think I'd have to agree with you there. Carcassonne against Colomiers. Top of the table, Colomiers.
Yeah, I think having not been that up on them at the start of the season, I think Colomiers have been excellent and they've been there and thereabouts, either winning or close to winning all their away games. I think after a little bit of a rest, they'll go pretty heavy and might have a little bit too much for Carcassonne.
It's interesting because I was going to go Colomiers, but if you look at some of their upcoming fixtures, they've got Vannes at home next week, then away to Béziers, and then Provence at home. So maybe this is like one where they rotate. I think I will go Colomiers, though. I think they're going to have too much, generally.
Yeah.
They could send a really, really weak team. We don't know. Final one. Quite a good game, this. Agen hosting Brive. Two clubs not a million miles away from each other either.
No.
A duck derby. Is there some sort of... I feel like they both love their duck in those sorts of areas.
Something like that. Agen.
Should we just call it a duck derby? Should we just go with it?
Duck derby.
I feel like every game in France could equally be the duck derby, but
in the duck derby, I think Agen are going to sneak it.
I think Brive might send a relatively weak side, so I'm going for Argennes in the Duck Derby.
Very good.
We might be in full agreement. Surely not.
I think we are. I think we might be.
Right.
All right.
Oh well.
Looking forward to it. It's been a bit of a Pro Day shaped gap for the last 2 weeks. So as you say, if nothing else, if you've never seen a game at Vannes on telly, that's reason enough to tune into FR UK on Thursday night. Should be awesome. Right, back in a sec for a couple of Petit-Fours. Rob, I've got like a little bit of a list of Petit-Fours, little kind of light-hearted numbers to finish us off. Have you got anything, or do you want me to smash on through?
I've got a couple. We didn't talk about National, by the way, but I caught a tiny bit of the Chambéry v Périgueux game, which was live and free on the Rugby Rama YouTube. Chambéry, Périgueux couldn't quite hold out at the end to prevent the bonus point, which is a pretty good win, actually, for Chambéry, all things considered. That stadium looks seriously cool. The Stade de Savoie, or whatever it's called. One's going to be called the Elephant Stadium, but got the Stadium of Elephants, but it got overruled. That looks like it's just like, it's kind of like, it's the ends are like, there's like raised standing, if that makes sense. Almost looks like
like elevated.
It's like like that balcony on the Galadari, mate, at the Oval.
That kind of walkway. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'd like to go there.
But elsewhere, a couple of transfer things. Rob Dupree signed for Bayonne.
Yes. Yeah, saw that.
And I understand that is as a 10 rather than a 13. So he will be the backup to Sagons. Anscombe is only on a 1-year deal. So they've replaced a unbelievably talented, injury-prone fly half for someone who's made the best of his talent, but is basically unbreakable fly half. Which is
get some minutes, doesn't he? Rob Dupree.
But I don't think he's missed a Premiership game for like
it's
4
ridiculous.
years or something. Yeah, and also I've kind of damned him with faint praise there. He is a very consistent player, so that feels like quite exciting.
A good top 14 signing,
and for Bayonne, like get another fly off with a massive boot. So
yeah.
And the other interesting news is Rodrigo Marta might have signed for. It's apparently already a done deal to sign for Pau. So going from Colomiers to Pau, just in case Pau needed another absolutely rapid wing /13/15 just to slot in the outside backs. That could be fun. I've got a couple of other tiny bits, but you go through some of yours.
So we were spoken about it once or twice, but the old Canal Plus Trombo, the Trombinoscope, I think, which is like the kind of team lineup, the retro one. Well, they got ahead of the UBB Toulouse. I don't know if you've seen this. They got Nans Ducuing, who's now part of the kind of the setup at Canal, to basically direct one, as far as I can tell.
Nice.
And it's just brilliant. It's like fancy dress. Like it's like Mathieu Jalabert with a pillow up his jumper at hooker, and it's hard to describe it. I think it's doing the rounds on Instagram, so if we find it, we'll repost. It's so funny. Yeah, there's a couple of them are like a little bit rogue, like, and there's obviously some puns in there that as a non-French speaker I just don't understand, including one which is Cameron Woki in like kind of, I guess you'd call it sort of stereotypical Japanese attire, and he's Cameron Wok, which I don't know. Maybe that's fair game in France. It seemed a little bit on the nose to me. I'll be honest with you. So yeah, but they all seem to be having a pretty good time. Dig it out. It's really worth watching. Another one that kind of involves Toulouse. There was a stat that Canal put out at the weekend. It was that the two grounds that had a hot tub in them both got decent home wins at Pau and Toulouse, which is, I didn't realise either of those stadiums had that. So I don't know if that's a recent addition. There's going to be one of those shout out to Chenier at All Things Rugby sent through. There's going to be one of those Legends games at the Mayol, like a football rugby combo.
Yeah.
It looks like a bit of a rogue lineup so far. I mean, Zinedine Zidane's there, but I think so is like, I don't know, Baptiste Serran, who I imagine is probably a pretty good footballer.
That's right. So the interesting thing about this is the date of it, because it's in November. So it's in the middle of the Autumn Internationals. And on the poster of Melvin Chamonix, not surprising that he's definitely not going to be involved in France. But they put Baptiste Serin on the poster. What do they know about what's Baptiste Serin been told by Fabien Galtier? Is he now out? Is his time gone?
I'm intrigued to see what the lineups are.
Also,
for that.
I reckon Bastereau is like, because Bastereau's on it, isn't he? Like, imagine him up front, like
in the Akin Fenwa role.
Yeah,
that would be class. And a couple of other bits to finish off. Cahor, who we've spoken about a little bit, I really enjoy. They put out their team sheets and they've got a couple of new signings whose photos they haven't taken. So they just put a mystery silhouette on the team sheet, like something out of Cluedo, nice. Which there's a certain amount of menace. I like to think if you're in opposition and there's like a mystery shadow on the team sheet, you're thinking, oh my God, who is that turning up? Which is quite good fun. The Paul Gustard Stade Francais thing I wanted to mention, they did like a bit of a mini documentary, actually quite good before their game at Perpignan, a bit behind the scenes, saying how, basically a big fire up about how they hadn't won. And I believe at some point in there, you've got Paul Gustard, as I say, channeling his inner Rog with l'opportunité, c'est fucking énorme. And it was, nous sommes fucking Stade Francais. Which is, I don't even know if he's that northern, Paul Gustard, but that's how it came across. Really, really worth a watch. And
amazing.
The two, just to finish off, the two other bits were Montauban did a bit of a kind of behind the scenes, what are people listening to? And Carl Wilkins mentioned how laid back a character Josh Vesey is. He said his tune of the moment is a little Fijian number called Paradise Roots by a group called Cavaro, which they then dubbed over a picture of Josh Vesey asleep in the corner outside, which is quite fun. And then Piers Phillips, who formerly of Grenoble, pretty high quality recruit for Rouen this year, stood out. And he was enjoying his time at the Hippodrome de Longchamp, watching some nags. Photo of him. The caption was €20, €20 on that one, s'il vous plaît, with a pint and a cigarette, proudly on his Instagram.
Amazing.
Living the dream.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's my list. Right, I think we're at time, Rob. So as usual, you can follow us at Rosbiff Rugby. Get in touch at rosbiffrugby@gmail.com. Premier Des back, enjoy it. Po Toulouse Saturday night. That will probably be on Premier Sport, right?
Yeah, should be.
Given the slot. So yeah, that feels like the showpiece game of the weekend. In the meantime, I've been Richard, that's been Rob. We've been the Rosbiff Rugby podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Weight loss solutions are not one-size-fits-all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan, when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you, with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.